Unique Mecca Audio, man. Let me tell you about my Atlanta trip. The Atlanta trip was fire. You know, we got in the drop top. We drove from New York to Virginia. You know, then from Virginia we went to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Spent the night in Charlotte. Spent the night in Virginia, and then we came on down to Atlanta. But on the way down to Atlanta, it's like me and the homie was riding, and Shay, and we stuck in a convertible with just the two of us crammed together. You know what I mean? Because, you know, don't give you much room in there as it is, you know? But, you know, me coming from the street, you know, it's distracting, it's frustration because, you know, I'm driving, and as I'm driving, and he's moving things, and there's wires everywhere, and I got to watch the road and watch the wires and see what wire go to what he's doing, because I'm in the car, you know? And I mean, it was just wires everywhere. And it like brings up my anxiety because I'm always on gangster protection mode to make sure I'm not speeding, I'm not getting pulled over, you know, I'm not breaking the law. So, you know, me having to look over every time he's moving a wire, or he got something sitting here, or he's sitting on the wire and he's stretching out the cord, and I got to tell him, raise up off the wire because he's stretching the cord, and I'm driving 70, 80 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Just, you know, just these little things that me from a, you know, outlaw's point of view, you know, view things different. Because somebody else riding down there look at like, okay, we're in the car, we got all this stuff, we don't have enough space, so we making do with what we do, which is fully understandable. But you can make do with what you do and make it more organized, you know, make it more organized so that we could just sit back and enjoy the ride, you know, because we talking about 14 hours in a little two-seater, you know, so you don't want to have, you know, wires over here, phone charge over here, this over here, and now you got to be driving and you got to watch the cars in front of you, the cars coming up on your right side, cars coming on your left, cars coming behind you, you're looking out for police, you watching the GPS, you looking at the wave to look where the police is at, you got all this going on trying to drive, and then you got somebody sitting next to you while you're looking in that direction to watch the cars coming on that side, or if there's police on that side. And then now he's doing all this in between you and doing that. That's like somebody in the camera like this. You know what I mean? Like, just fall back, man, so we can just relax. You know? So I'm just giving y'all this jewel so y'all know when y'all wind up in a situation like I'm in, because it might even be a four-seater. But if you just got stuff everywhere, it's going to bring chaos and confusion. You know? And chaos and confusion brings forth a negative reaction. And you don't want a negative reaction, so you got to keep everything organized and in a harmonious, you know, form. Especially when you're talking about 8 hours riding down in a two-seater. You understand? You're supposed to enjoy that. You can't enjoy that if you know, you're crammed up in there. You got to put your leg this way because that's there. Put the stuff in the trunk. Whatever don't fit in the trunk, you leave it. And just make it a nice ride where everything is empty. You can sit back, listen to music and bop and drive and, you know, and have a good time. But you can't have a good time, you know, while you got to see what he's doing over here, what wire he's pulling, what wire he's sitting on. Like I said, you're doing 80, you know? But let's ride, man. You know, I'm riding. So now, you know, that was just that to give y'all a little jewel on that. You know, when you're in the car with somebody, keep it organized. You know, you get in the car and they don't have no junk over there on the floor or nothing like that. And, you know, the car was just clean and smelled good. You know how much more you enjoy that ride than getting in a car where they got McDonald's bags over here and Dunkin' Donuts, you know, coffee cup over here, and you know what I mean? And cigarette wrap over here, blunt wrap over here, and you're in this crazy chaos as you walk in. Right off the bat, your cheer's not going to be right. You know, so when you get in those type of environments, you got to tell yourself that you know you're in an unnatural environment, because cleanliness is the next best thing to godliness. And that mess in that car is nothing but the devil. Everything around it is going to be negative. So you got to keep it clean. I came down here and I went to a little car wash called Car Spa. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was Car Spa. But they vacuumed that car so good, better than I had a car vacuum since I've been home. Back in the 90s, they did it like that because they'll put their hands between it for that paper back then. Now everybody just lazy. They go in there with a vacuum and just get what they see. They don't get in the cracks of the seat and things like that like they used to willingly do back then. Now you ask them, they look at you funny. You know what I mean? But this place did a really good job cleaning it, man. And, you know, they sprayed some new car smell stuff in it. And it was just a good feeling, a good environment that made the day better, made it everything smoother. Because there was no chaos. You understand? That's like, you know, you go look at your computer set up on your desk and wires is all crisscross every which way. Right there it gives you a negative feeling right from the rap. And then you go, you know, look at your computer and now all the wires is ran down straight, they clip together and everything is looking proper sitting on your desk like it does in an office. Your home computer should look like your office computer. Shouldn't be wires everywhere. Because every time you have a problem and you're gonna look towards the computer to, let's say, turn it off or, you know, anything towards just looking at it and you see those wires looking in chaos, your mind is gonna be in chaos and you're not gonna be able to solve that problem. And even if you attempt to solve that problem, you're gonna get thrown out of your zone from where you at. You understand what I'm saying? To be thrown out of that zone just from looking up, seeing that chaos. And that's what it felt like riding in the car. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I want y'all to understand, that I'm talking to y'all about this. So you understand, when you're OG, you don't have room for slip-ups. Let's ride. Now, we're going to take it to, we pulled up in Magic City. You know, we went to Magic City, they had the girls up in there. You know what I mean? So now, you know, we go up in there. I like the way he handled that. He did that move smooth. You know, as far as, you know, he just sat back, you know, grabbed the table, got the chair close to the back of the table, you know what I mean? So, you know, the females couldn't try and, you know, rough off a dance. You know, we got there late and we was just, you know, out hustling the candy. You know, and there was some beautiful candy in there, you know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, that was that. And then, as we ride again, we're going to go into where we pull up at the joint. At the Bronx Day. We pull up at the Bronx Day. Now, when we get out, what you youngins have to understand is when you go somewhere with somebody, especially if you come across town from New York all the way down here to Atlanta, you know, when you do something like that and you come with somebody, you're responsible for that person is responsible for you. So that don't mean that person's supposed to be dragging behind when you walk in and none of that, because you're supposed to move together as one in unison. You know what I mean? Because the two of us together is a force to be reckoned with. At no times do we put our shoulders down or our guards down. You know what I mean? Or our expectation of niggas being niggas. You understand? That's how you move when you go out of town. So, you know, let me ride a little bit. Tell you about like how when I used to come down here in the South, you know, me and my brother, you know, I'll grab about 40, 50 keys, you know, throw them in the stash in the joint, and we driving it down. I go down and I go see them. But as I'm driving on the highway, I gotta watch out for everything around me. I gotta make sure I stay under the speed limit. I don't even wanna be a mile over the speed limit. And I don't wanna even be a mile under the speed limit. I gotta be on the speed limit. Because if you're going too slow, they think you up to something. If you're going too fast, they're gonna pull you over because you're breaking the law. So the best thing to do is stay on the speed. So you know what that was like driving from like New York to Virginia when it was like 8 hours going up the, you know, going up 95 to go all the way up past DC and then up to Richmond and back down 264. I mean, come on. You know that was like when you sitting here, you know, with 50 keys in the trunk, and you know if you get pulled over, you're never gonna touch the streets again. So you don't have room for error. We can't tell the police officer when they pull us over with 50 keys on the turnpike or on, you know, Route 13, you know, yo, give me a do-over. You know what I mean? Give me a do-over. I was fixing the wires, you know what I mean, to plug my phone in. So let me get a do-over. Nah, they don't give us do-overs. You get one chance, you know, and that's the way I still move today. I don't give them that one chance. That way I don't have to ask for a do-over. And that's why I tell the youth, don't get involved in the streets, because there's a lot of mechanics and strategizing goes into surviving when you're on the street and you're in those neighborhoods, whether you're hustling or not. I just brought up the hustling so you understand that I had that heat of, 50 keys, in my possession with intent to distribute on my back. So I didn't have room for messing up. So trying to drive 8 hours at 60 miles an hour straight, where I got to keep watching the speed limit. If I go to 61 or 62, I got to ease up off the gas, and I got to play it just right, because I don't have that 1 mile radius for error. You understand? So now when I pull up in another town, I'm riding. Forgot to give you the. So, I pull up in town and I got, got the joints in it, and, I go find out, who's who, what's doing what, meet a little female, you know what I mean? Got to meet a female, because females know everybody. So you meet a little female, she got to be a little cutie or something that, just know how to move. And then no matter what she looked like. If she was already a hustling female and she down there, you just want to know how she move. You understand? And once you see she moving smooth, then you get her, and that's the one you befriend, and, you go out with her at the bar, you give her a grand, let her have a little grand in her pocket, she spend the money, get the drinks, whatever, and she floss, and she can have her girlfriends there, whatever. And if I see a dude that I'm trying to sell something to that look like he, he wearing that thing and he about that paper, you know what I mean? I call and I sick on him. I say, yo, go get the number, holler at the nigga. If anything, take him back to the hotel, screw his brains out, deep throat him, whatever you need to do, you know what I mean? And find out his prices. And that's it. And I'm going to take it from there. So now after she done that, he thinks she wifey. Because, you got those, but I love a dog ass niggas. You turn them out with a little sex, and all of a sudden now they love the woman. That's the, but I love a dog ass niggas. But, so, you sick on those, but I love a dog niggas. And, she find out the price, she come back, and then you just drop your price, 5 more. And you take him and you let him move and let him do his thing. You don't try to move into town and meet a whole bunch of people. You let him do his thing, you give it to him where he got room to drop his prices below whatever the prices is there and still make a profit, and I'm still making a profit. So we all making a profit and we all eating, because it's about making a profit and eating. Hope I'm not confusing you. Hope I'm not speaking too fast. But now, I say that to say when you're moving like that, right? That's right. So now we pulls up at the Bronx State joint. While we're in the Bronx State joint, we come out the garage and it's a little hill, and we walking out the hill, and the homie stop, he gets a picture, a little video, whatever thing. Then, I start walking down a little bit, and he had the camera down, and I look back, I said, dog, you're not getting this? And he was like, I noticed the crowd was huge, and they had a better view than up top. So I said, yo, get that. And he went into telling me about his method to his madness when, you know what I mean? We all got our method to our madness, and they all right as long as they get us to where we're trying to go and we're not harming the ones that we moving forward with. But all I wanted him to do was just film the thing. We could talk about your method and your madness later. You know what I mean? But right now we want to capture this moment as it is. And to talk about it, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose that moment. By talking about, my method is I want to do it this way, I want to do it that way, and this is the way I do it, that way I do it. And you're right. All of that. You know what I mean? But at the meantime, we're missing the footage. So never take your eyes off the prize. Just like you go out with your girl, because I like to ride. You go out with your girl and y'all walking down 42nd Street. Now, y'all walking down there, and as you're walking, she starts slowing up behind you, and people's coming in between, and they cutting her off and bumping her, and you know what I mean? Because she's behind you now, she's by herself as a female. So now you have her stuck as a piñata. You understand what I'm saying? When the whole time you're supposed to let her know she's supposed to be walking with you, you're supposed to be walking in unison. So you find a step that's short enough to match her short legs, and when she moves, you move. You understand what I'm saying? And vice versa. When you move, she move. Meaning if she want to go look at something over there and she move, and she take a step, you take a step. You don't let her hand go and let her get 2-3 steps ahead of you. Because anything could happen in between that 2-3 steps. So you always got to be on point, because you don't want to scar your baby. Right? Same way with your life. When you go out, you always got to be on point. So if you go there with somebody you know, the two of y'all is there to watch each other. Like, I'm going to ride. I'm going to tell you one. I'm in a Jamaican joint up there on 145th and Edgecombe. While I'm up in the joint, Jamaican start feeling good. He pull out his gun. He starts shooting in the air. He good and drunk off that, you know, Jamaican white rum. Bang, 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 bang. And he's shooting in the air in the joint. Me and my man up in there, American brother from Harlem. And we just put our backs to each other. We both pulled out. I'm watching my front. You know, he's watching his back. And we stepping in unison, making it out the door, moving the joint, making sure we get out. Obviously, this dude always did that. You know, that's why I say gunshots. He felt good. He busted his gun. But I don't know them in there. You understand what I'm saying? Not on that level because it's dark. And I'm not around them every day, you know. So, you know, we both had to go out back to back, step to step. That's how you walk in unison, the same way you walk in unison when you're on 42nd Street with your girl. You see how I tie all that together? You know, just so you understand. So now as I'm walking down, got to ride. As I'm walking down the ramp, going to, you know, toward the DJ booth and, you know, the gazebo and all that that's going on. And, you know, it's mad people there. As I'm walking, you know, I'm noticing that he's getting further and further and further behind where people is getting in between us, you know. But I don't say anything because I know he really don't understand that in that little bit of moment that 2 and 3 people get in the middle, that could be one of them that bust you in your back, stab you in your head, or shoot you in your head. So if you go out with somebody, you got to be there so that while he going forward, you know he watching the front, and as you going, you just pivot your head from side to side and you watch behind you. And sometimes you even turn around and walk backwards. You know what I mean? And look at your surroundings and see what's moving up behind you. Don't sit there and have things behind you moving and you don't know what's happening. I want to know what's behind me. So that's I can turn my head. When I'm by myself, that's how I got to do it. I might be walking, I might just pull over and lean up on the pole. And just let the people that was behind me go forward, and I just look back and I watch my surroundings, and then I get back in and I start moving to my rhythm again. That's how I got to think. Because I don't want to fall into no one else's rhythm. Because that might be detrimental. You know, so, you know, that I said, you know, we going down the joint, but that was the main thing is that, you know, he understand that when you go, you got to stay. You got to, you know, when he move, you move. You know what I mean? Whoever's moving. Because when you both leave to go out of town, you both got to come back to town together. And that's how we moved back then. It wasn't, oh, I'm going out with this girl and I break out. No, you let me know and I know where you going the same way the females let them know we're going. Yeah, I'm taking Shorty to the hotel, boo, 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 and that's your man and he knows what's going on. You know, so, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, then, like I said, coming back out of there, you know, after being in that environment, now we get in there, we put the top down on the joint and we get ready to go out and there's wires everywhere and you know what I mean? I got the top down. I'm in an underground garage in Atlanta, Georgia, man. I'm from New York. I'm way down here in Georgia. I'm in an underground garage. And I got the top down on a convertible. And my passenger, instead of looking around and watching our backs, you know, he's on in the door. He's fixing this down here. He's moving this wire over here. He's doing that over there. And we got the top down in a drop top in a garage in Atlanta, Georgia. We came all the way from New York City. See, y'all didn't see it that way until I just said it because you probably would have did the same because it's not like he did wrong. He did what he knew. But I did what I knew. I stopped, pulled over, and I parked. And let him get himself together and sit down so that our hearts could beat at the same time as we roll out that garage. Then we both on the same lookout as far as for what's going on around us. Not my heart beating and trying to get out and his heart beating towards trying to fix these wires because he can't find out where the phone not charging or whatever is going on. That's irrelevant when you could lose your life that quick. While you're looking down, somebody walk right over and hit you in your head. So you got to be on point. But, you know, I understand that he don't understand the depths of how deep I go into this, that I'm always going to make sure that I'm protected. Never will I take my eyes off the prize. to look in the side of the door and to fix this wire and do this with the top down in an underground garage in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're from New York City. Where do they do that at? 2023, understandable. But that's why I'm here to give you all the rules how this thing go. Always be on point, man. Even if the top wasn't down, you're in an underground garage in Georgia, you're sitting there driving and you trying to look up while you're driving and hitting the gas and hitting the brake and trying to fix this wire, watching him fix the wire, and you're trying to do all this and he's moving this over there. I mean, come on. Your heart is going to just race and not have any destination. So I had to stop everything because we could control that do-over just by sitting still and letting our breathing get together as one. And then we roll out with the car, let the wheels get together as one, and we all as one. And now we cruise into our destination, turn on a little music, let that vibe us. Now we all as one. And that's how I chill. That's how me and my brother, rest in peace, Peter, chill. And another one. Like when you riding and you in that passenger seat with your homie, your homemate for the ladies or whatever. When you in that passenger seat, whatever they want, you're supposed to do for them. My man driving and I'm in the passenger seat and the phone ringing, he reaching for a phone. I said, nah, I get it. You want me to answer? You know what I mean? I answered, I give it to him. I said, you want me to put it on speaker? You know what I mean? And I'm even inviting him to put it on speaker. Because when you're in that passenger seat, you're the co-captain. So you help the captain with everything the captain needs. You don't just say, let me go over here and do this and let me play with my phone and forget what he needs. And you see him struggling, driving and trying to feel for a lighter and look down for a lighter, and you don't do nothing but keep doing what you doing, texting on the phone. I mean, your man going 80 miles an hour and you looking down. Says he looked down for something. I said, what is it you need? You know what I mean? Before his hand even touch it. Let me get it for you. That's what I'm here for. So I try to lead by example. That's why I let him drive first, and I catered to him. Because if he crash, we die. Not he die. You understand? Because we both in the same environment. So you got to make sure that, whatever he need, because he's at the helm. He has control. So you don't need him doing nothing else but focusing on that damn road. So if you want a cigarette, you want a joint, whatever, you light it for him, you hold it out in front of him so he can see it without having to ever take his eyes off the road for a split second, because that split second can cost you your life. So that's what I want you to understand. That split second, man, you got to always be on point. There's no room for mistakes, because in life you don't get do-overs. And that's where it's at, man. But that's how my little Atlanta journey was so far. We getting ready to head back up and get some new escapades, but I like my brother because he listens and he don't take it personal. But I know that my delivery could be aggressive because I came from an aggressive neighborhood in aggressive time when it was given to me aggressive. With niggas damn near screaming in your face to say, get me the chick. Give me the chill for this. You know what I mean? And they're not yelling at you. That's just how we kick it. You know what I mean? But then as they took us out, it got real quiet. And the new generation, they talk soft to each other. So when they hear someone talk a little aggressive or a little rough, you understand? They take it as, they mad or disrespect, or it's some type of emotion behind it. When it's no emotion behind it, it's just communication. Give me the chill over there. Somebody hurry up and give me the chill. Somebody with a complex would take that as a disrespect. Somebody that's comfortable with themselves would say, well, I'm doing something. You know what I mean? And that's how you communicate. And they're not going to get up and want to pull out guns and wind up killing each other, because then, like I said, there's no do-overs. No do-overs. So you sit there, man, watch the way you talk to me, man. What are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm not touching no kind of way. Why are you so sensitive? And the argument go back and forth. And it is what it is, man. But I just wanted to give y'all a little bit, to let y'all see, man, that's how the ride is so far, man. I hope y'all take something from this, man. Yeah, that trip that I took down the East Coast, I went all the way from New York all the way down to Atlanta, and it was like that. I went on Saturday night after the cookout with Brucey B and Will Trax and, Lou Sims was with us, We had everybody out there, man. Gonna put some pictures up, let y'all see what it was looking like. But then later on that night, we pulled up at KOD, King of Diamond, and we saw Jim Jones and Jules Santana tear up the performance. It was fire. I saw a lot of old friends that I haven't seen in years. It was like that, man. Jim Jones, Jules Santana, they did their thing. They had the girls up there. I met some young kids from out of Brooklyn, that was down there for the Bronx Day weekend. That was fire. And, most definitely then we went back and we got up like 4 in the morning. I got up, took the top off the convertible and we hit 85 up to Charlotte, By the time we got to Charlotte, because we made a couple of stops, we went to Charlotte and, chilled out with Gadget Mike and Black Fred, Patty Pooh, brother Black Fred used to be a Ron G, good brother, gave me good hospitality. And, we went to the little, a little outdoor joint. This outdoor joint was real nice. It was like a parking lot. They turned the parking lot into a club where they put the green, felt down like the artificial grass in the whole parking lot. They had the tents up, the stage, S&S was there. Everybody was there, man. We did our thing. We took some nice pictures. Ashanti was there that night. She didn't want to get wet in the rain, so she stayed up under the joint and did what she had to do. But, it was fire, man. I had a great time, man. Could you imagine, like I said, I did all this in like 5 days. I drove down to Virginia, then on Wednesday. Thursday drove to Charlotte, stayed the night in Charlotte, drove down to Atlanta Friday. Went out that night, like I said, I went and checked out RL and Little Mo at the Black and White Affair. Then we went to Magic City, and I'm just giving you a recap. And then after that, then we stopped off at the Waffle House, they had a little white girl in there that had a real cute little accent. We're not used to that Southern accent like that from New York. So, that was a nice, exciting part of the trip too. Met a whole bunch of people out there. And, once we got up there, riding on the highway on 85, everybody do 90. If you ever been down there on 85, everybody do 90. They cruising at 80 and the speed limit is 70. It was, them big trucks zooming up and down. But, once we got up there, like I said, we did the Ashanti thing on Sunday night. Then Monday we got up 4 o'clock. We hit the road and I stopped off in Washington, D.C., got to D.C., checked out my man Larry Moe, L.A. was there, old Latif. We did a good time, man. And, then I went and, had lunch with Antone and his wife over, at the, what's that, the Wharf? The Wharf, But, it was fire, man, with the boats out there. We had a good conversation. That conversation was not meant to disrespect anyone. We just wanted to show you what 2 men look like, what men cut from the same cloth look like, how we bring something to the round table where we could agree to disagree. But at the same time, it's all respect because we all got our own minds, our own opinions, and we voice it at all times. But, it was a wonderful trip, man, stopping off in D.C. Then I went and dropped my cameraman off down in South Jersey by Atlantic City. And, it was a wonderful trip, man. I want to thank y'all for, let me share the trip with you. So remember, subscribe at my YouTube. You already know, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that like button. My podcast is also Unique Mecca Audio. My Roku is Unique Mecca Audio. And make sure you cop the book, A Roar in Harlem. You get the audio book or you get the book by going to aroarinharlem.com. Cash App on the screen. Make sure it says Created 2020. I love you. I respect you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Because it is what it is.
Cheers. Toast the crime. Toast the crime. The crime. The crime. The crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, you we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rules.